Oh, again. Do you like her? I made her. Black authors, black characters, black literature. And I love her bad. Will I be showing y'all all the stuff that I've made? Probably. Once I like figure out how I'm going to decorate this office. But yeah. It's available on Etsy if you want to. Digital art, you do have to print it yourself. But yeah, she's available if you want her. Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am Anastasia the Black Bookworm, and today we are going to go over some, not all of them, some of the books that I could wish I could talk. We're going to go over just some of the books that I wish I could read for the first time again, because my God, what an experience. Now, if you're new here, or if you just don't know this about me, which is fair, my memory with books, I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better. However, I am not really great with that. So I do struggle with that. Please bear with me. I'm doing my best to get better. But I tried to give you guys mostly new books on this list. Did I completely do that? Well, no. No, I did not. There might be one or two books that you've heard me talk about before, and it is what it is. I did my best. We persist, honestly. But yeah, so let's get started, I guess. Also, I'm coming to you guys having taken minimal notes. Also, it is literally the Monday after the Super Bowl. I am so sleepy, and I don't know why. Was I up late? I wasn't really up late. I think it's just because we woke up early. So bear with me. The energy is, I don't know where it's at, but it's not here. So bear with me. I'm doing my best. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm not going to be holding up the physical books because I can insert pictures, and I will. I was a little bit too tired to go around my house because I have books everywhere. This is where most of my books are, between these two shelves, but I have books all over the house. And so I did not feel like going on a scavenger hunt to get them. So bear with me. I am not holding any physicals today. But let's get started. Number 1, Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. If you have not read that book, for all of these books, if you have not read them, please add them to your TBR. Because they are phenomenal. I do highly recommend all of them. Every single book that I'm going to talk about, I rated 5 stars. So if you were wondering about that, you needn't wonder no more. I will tell you right now, I rated them all 5 stars. Legendborn by Tracy Deonn was so good, but I think it was like one of my first times venturing into YA by black authors. Because I've read like all the Harry Potters before I read Legendborn. And I'd even read like all of like the ACOTAR series, I believe. I think. But when I read Legendborn, I was like, hello? What in the world is this? What is going on? Like, I had never learned so much about like, I don't want to say like myself, but just like the background and like lore behind what went into writing that book, like the research that was there, because it has to do with King Arthur, and I did not realize how intricate that was. But the way that she coupled that with like enslaved people and just put it all on a college campus, like, and wrapped it in a bow and gave it to you, it was beautifully done, and I highly recommend. And I'm ready and waiting for Oathbound. Hey, it's editing me. I did read Oathbound, and I would like to amend the fact that I only said Legendborn. A whole series. Legendborn, Bloodmarked, Oathbound. All 3 of them. I want to run it back for the first time. I truly do. 5 stars. 5 stars, by the way. If you love me, Next book. If You Love Me by Kimberly Brown. I literally just finished that this morning. It was so good. It was so good. I've been trying to work my way through Kimberly's catalog because she has a bunch of books that she's written, but I don't know what it is. I keep thinking, like, if I know a book is romantic suspense, I don't think I will willingly go to it. But if I don't know that's what's happening and then I go into it, oh my gosh, it was so well done. Literally, it follows the story of a family trying to move past the wife who had been kidnapped for 10 years, like her disappearance, and then all of a sudden she comes back. And like, how do you navigate that space? Like, she had a 6-month-old daughter the day that she went missing. And 10 years later, like, of course, you know, you don't want your husband to move on. Like, don't you ever forget about me, blah, blah, blah. But 10 years is a long time. And it's not that he forgot about her, but like, you know, 10 years is a long time. So just seeing the dynamics and what that looked like. Kimberly, I'm going to give you your things, girl. That was beautifully done. That was, oh my God, I ate it up. And I'm trying to get my friends to read it now. I'm gonna try harder with that because I think everybody should read it. Next, Ace of Spades by, oh, I didn't do my research on how to pronounce these names, Lord forgive me. Okay, Ace of Spades by Faridah, Abike-Iyimide. Faridah, Abike-Iyimide. Girl, I am so sorry because you wrote the heck out of that book and you deserved better than what I just gave you. I am so sorry. That is my bad. That is my bad. I am so sorry. But that book, do I like thrillers? Because that's a thriller. Maybe I don't like predictability. Like, maybe I do like a little suspense here and there and like not knowing what's going to happen, because that book, again, was so good. YA, but YA is kind of like, maybe it's like YA/NA. Like, it takes place in a high school, but it follows these two students. They're black students. Are they the only black students in this school? Quite possibly. Bear with me, I don't fully remember. I read it in 2023, so please bear with me. But they are trying to figure out like what is going on, because all of their like tea is being just put out for the school to know, like all of their business, and it is scandalous, y'all. And so they're trying to figure out what is going on, who is the reason for this, like what is happening. And it's like this whole spider web of like, oh, it's so good. I don't want to spoil it. There's gonna be no spoilers, so I'm not gonna like go fully in depth, but it is so good. It is so good. It's like high school meets Get Out. It's so good. Okay. Resote Me by JL Seegars. I talk about that book all the time, but literally it's the first book that ever gave me a like book hangover / almost put me in a reading slump, but I persisted. I refused. I just opened up another book and started reading. But it was so good. It follows the story of, and this is how I know it's good, because I can tell you the characters' names. Dom and Sloan. I don't remember characters' names, but I will never forget them. It follows the story of a widow and her deceased husband's best friend, and like it's so beautifully done. And I think something that JL Seegars does really well is takes a storyline that at its like, you know, at face value just sounds scandalous and a little bit messy, but unravels it into something that can be very beautiful and very relatable for her readers. And so I thoroughly enjoyed that. I want to go back and reread the whole series. I've said that before. And I think this is the year that I do it, but my feelings, man, I just love like the New Haven cinematic universe. I love it so much. To Be Loved by Lashaun. This is the second book in, what's that series called? Things Unseen series? It's the second book in that series. And that whole entire series was my first introduction to Lashaun. And girl, like, I'm gonna let you do your thing. Like, I'm gonna give you your space. If you are resting, then rest. I don't know what you got going on. Take care of you, queen. But when you're ready to come back with some books, I am more than ready, willing, and able to read them. But yes, this is the second book in that series, and I don't know what it was about it. It just resonated with me so deeply. Like, I don't think it was my first like bodyguard romance, but it was the first one that I was like, oh, I really like this a lot. Like a lot. Just seeing how the FMC, who was this very put together person in all aspects of her professional life, but you know, personally she was a mess, and she had been through so much trauma, and she just needed somebody to like love her through that healing and like help her and guide her. And it was so good. And I think it does a really good job of like showcasing found family, and dealing with very heavy issues like trigger warning, like sexual abuse, like child sexual abuse, and just topics that are very heavy, and handled in a way that is very like, I don't know if graceful is the word I want to use, but just handled very well. And it is not a story that leaves you feeling like hurt or broken, but you leave it feeling put together. Which I think if an author can do that, if an author can break your heart and put it back together again within the same book, I think it is a beautiful experience, and it's worth going through the possibility of like that heartache to get to the other side of it. And I think To Be Loved is a really good example of that. Hostile Takeover by Christina C. Jones. Woo, that lady's catalog. I'm also trying to work my way through her catalog because extensive. But my God, I read that last month, and Forced Proximity, like, I like her a lot. Enemies to Lovers, I like her a lot, but it has to be done right, because those are the tropes that are very, very popular amongst readers. So a lot of times authors just kind of want to like, you know, get in there and like get a little piece of the pie. But this beautiful book, the way that it is written, the story in and of itself is so good, because you follow a smallish community business. It's a sorry, I have like hair on my nose. It follows a family-owned grocery store in the community that is very like beloved by everybody around there. I think I got it. Maybe it was like a strand for my makeup brush. Anyways, and a very big company wants to come in and buy them out. It's like all because of like the rent can't get paid, and you know, what are we gonna do? And it's very much like, okay, well, I'll give you my daughter for you to like not sell the business, sort of thing. Kind of. Kind of. I don't want to spoil it. Basically, the daughter of the family that owns a small community business is married off to the CEO of the... Is it the CEO? Or is the CEO? Is big business. The CEO of the big business that's coming in to buy the small business. They get married off, and she like writes in the contract like, okay, I'm gonna do this, but only if I get to keep like my family's business. And it is just, oh, it's so good. It's so good. I really enjoy, and not even just the forced proximity, enemies to lovers of it all, because yes, that's good too, but also like the backstory of her family and how they got into this situation in the first place, because they are a very successful company. So you're like, what in the world would get you there? When you read what gets them there, you're like, oh, makes sense. But it was really good. It's a really, really good time. And I think I understand why that would be the first book in her catalog that a lot of readers like gravitate to. But definitely keep going, because I've been keeping on going, and it's a phenomenal place to be. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I read that book, and I was so... What's the word I'm looking for? I was so moved. I think it had been a while since I'd read a really, really, really good book. And so the fact that this really, really, really good book had a girl on the front cover, a woman on the front cover that looked like me and was like highly marketed, was just such a, oh my God, yes, more Black authors should have that kind of backing behind them. Oh, anyways, it was so good. It was so good. It's the story of a couple that is divorced. Are they a couple when they're divorced? A now divorced couple. You follow their life post-divorce, what it looks like to co-parent, and basically why their marriage did not work out in the first place, and whether or not it's meant to be, or if they just should not be together. Now, because it is categorized as a romance, you know, you do get your happily ever after, but like the journey to get there is so good. So good. Yes. Don't Cry for Me by Daniel Black. That book was very, very heavy. It is a story about a dying man writing letters to his son, his estranged son, basically talking about like all of the things that he went through in his life, why he was the way he was, why did that turn him into the kind of father that he ended up being, and how even though this resonated with me because parent, but you see this man that is doing the best that he can, thinking he's doing everything the right way, and it's like you can be intentional as parents and you can still get it very much wrong, and that's exactly what happens in this book. And it's not necessarily him making excuses for his behavior. It's quite the opposite. It's more so him being accountable of the mistakes that he made while parenting his son, and you get like the you just get a lot of good like background for him in like his story. And I think from what I can remember, Daniel Black like used a lot of his own lived experiences, and like I will correct this if I'm wrong, but I think this is like what he wished his father would have done with him. It was a very, very, very beautiful story. Also sad. Must keep that in mind. Pretty sure it's contemporary fiction, but I can look that up. I can double check that. Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. What I really liked about this was that this could have been a very, very, very messy story, but the FMC just truly, truly did not care. And that was what made it be, honestly, like not nearly as messy as it could have been, because she just didn't give a F about anybody's opinions. And honestly, good for Janelle. She did not care about anybody's opinions. And Rome and his wealthy self, we love it. We love to see it. But like the story follows a girl who's a bridesmaid to her sister, and her sister's marrying her ex-boyfriend. And so it just could have been like, I don't know, I feel like it could have been handled like so carelessly and so recklessly based off the strength of that plot, but instead it's just developed so beautifully. And it's a novella, it's not long, but it was just, is it a novella? I might have lied to y'all. But the way that it's handled is just really well done. And I think that there is an opportunity to tell a really good story with a plot that could have, like I said, it could have been handled very messily and very like, with less care, but there was just it was just handled very well, very delicately, I should say. What time is it? I'm trying to check my thing too. Okay. Continuum by Danielle Allen. Was this one of the first Danielle Allen books I've ever read? I'm pretty sure. It was so good. It's a story that's like kind of like a second chance-ish romance, but it also follows an FMC who's grieving the death of her best friend, and it wasn't like sci-fi-ish because it was romance, but I was like, this is kind of like cool the way that it's being written. It's very what would I say? It just did not fall into the regular romance of like second chance, let's do this, we get together, woohoo, it works out in the end, we love each other. Like it wasn't that. It was very much, although it was kind of insta-lovey, the importance of her grieving her best friend is, I think, prioritized really well. So I would highly recommend it. Woo! 10 books. That was 10 of the books that I wish I could read for the first time again. Like I said, that was not all of the books. That was just the first 10 that I wanted to talk to you guys about, that I hadn't really harped on too much on this channel, apart from Resote Me. And we're going to try to go one video without talking about that book. But I can't tell y'all how much that just literally changed the trajectory of my reading. Like, it was my introduction into indie black romance. And I am still here to this day. And I think something that's very important to also talk about is that, how many books on this list? 1, 2 at the time. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it's 5 because Only for the Weak is traditionally published, which, woo! Good job, Natasha Bishop. Get your things. We love that. We love that. But at the time when I read these, 6 of these books, 6 out of the 10 were independently published. And I say that to say it is so important to support indie authors. And to me, a lot of the times the stories that they are writing are a lot better than the ones that are being traditionally published, because they are not edited from a white gaze or a white lens. It's very much like a lived experience of black people, and those stories just feel very authentic because they are. And I say that to say, to those indie authors that have, like, you know, a laptop and a dream, support them. Because lack of resources doesn't mean lack of talent. It doesn't mean lack of plot development, character development, world building. Like, most of my favorite books now to this day are indie published. Yeah, actually, especially if you want to get more into romance, I would highly recommend indie books, because there's just something about them that's just better. A lot of times, like, yes, you do get, you know, typos or whatever, because like I said, lack of resources, and the authors are doing their absolute best that they can. But all of this to say, support indie authors as much as you support trad authors, or, you know, even more if you have the means and the funds. But yeah, thank you so much for stopping by. Some resources on how to read those books. If you do not have the means to have a Kindle Unlimited membership, do not worry. It is okay. You can still have access to these books without pirating. But if you do have the means, then definitely Kindle Unlimited. Usually they have some sort of special where you can get at least like 1 month free, if not 3 months free. I know when I started my membership, I got 3 months free because I joined after Christmas. But your local libraries are gems. They're not hidden either. They're plain in sight gems. But you can definitely request these books through your local libraries, and that way you're supporting the authors and supporting the library, and your interest in wanting to read this one book can also be a gateway for readers in your community to read and have access to these authors that they might not have heard of before. So if these are books that you're interested in reading, and of course with the traditionally published books, same as well, you can get them through your local library, you can get them secondhand. If funds are an issue, which in today's time it might be an issue for a lot of us, so just saying that to be inclusive. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you if you have not read any of these books, I hope I have convinced you to read at least like one of them. At least one. They're all really good, but at least one of them. And I tried to like switch up the genres, because I have some YA fantasy, I have some romance, I have some thriller, YA thriller, but still thriller, romantic suspense, like contemporary fiction, and contemporary romance, I think. Yeah, I did pretty good, honestly. Y'all are welcome. Look at me. But I hope you, whenever you're watching this, I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your support. If you like what you're seeing, please like. Leave a comment down below of any of the books that you wish you could read for the first time. Any of the books that you would recommend that I read for the first time. I might have already read it and just not talked about it on the channel. But, you know, it's worth a shot to comment and leave a suggestion of books. And yeah, I just cannot thank you enough for being here. Not the last video, a couple of videos ago, I told y'all don't turn on that notification bell because I don't know how frequently I'm gonna be posting. I mean, you could turn it on. Still don't know how frequently I'm gonna be posting, but you could turn it on if you want to be notified whenever I do post. I'm working on what day of the week I want to post. I'm not quite entirely sure if I want to stick to a specific day, or just kind of venture around the calendar and see what works best for me. I'm probably going to do that, actually. So but yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this, and I can't wait to talk to you about some more books at some point in time. Bye. Oh, a thumbnail, but I didn't hold a book up. I hope I hope that there's something here that I can use for a thumbnail. I don't know, man. What's it look like to fantasize reading a book for the first time? Oh, I just wish. Oh, let's look longingly. Okay, bye for real this time. Have a great day. Bye.